Oh, Rachel, I just had the greatest idea. I'm gonna come live with you.
What?
Oh, I'm so happy I'm gonna do this for my little girl. Oh, look at you. You have tears in your eyes.
Yes, I do.
Marlo Thomas, today on Pop Goes the Culture. Hi, I'm David Levin, and this is another frantic episode of Pop Goes the Culture. Today, the conclusion of my talk with Marlo Thomas. Marlo talks about being on Friends and her work with St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
In the last several years, you started doing some guest starring.
Yes, I did Friends was my first guest starring part. And up until then, I hadn't done any guest stars. I just didn't want to do them. I didn't want to get into that, that whole tone again. But I thought Friends was a great show, and I loved Jennifer, and I had played her father's sister in the play where the man had found me on to do Bonanza. I had played John Aniston's sister. So when they said that I want to play Jennifer Aniston's mother, I thought, well, there is a family resemblance. You know, I'm Lebanese and Italian, they're Greek. So, and I loved the show. It was beautifully written. And I hadn't done an audience show before. My show was done one camera. And I wanted to do one camera because I'd been working in the theater such a long time that I really wanted to learn movie technique. So that's why I wanted to do it. And I also didn't want to do a fall-down funny show. We wanted to do a more romantic, more sensitive show that was funny, but also had a lot of romance in it. You really can't do that in front of an audience with 4 or 5 cameras. So it was a chance to do a multi-camera show. And I really loved it. I did 4 or 5 of them, and I had a very good time. And Jennifer was great. I remember I did a scene in which Matt LeBlanc had to grab and kiss me. I forgot why. He didn't want me to see something. I forgot what it was. And so he grabbed me and kissed me. And so in the rehearsals, he'd kiss my chin or kiss my nose or something. And finally it was, time to do the scene. And he said, "Oh, Marlo, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to have to kiss you on the mouth this time." And it was so cute. And he was so polite. I said, go ahead. It was very cute. They were darling, just darling to work with. It was interesting. I worked on that show in the first year, or the second maybe, and I worked in it the last year. And I was amazed that those kids made so much money and became such big stars, and they didn't change. They worked very hard. They were still, there on time, knew their lines, very professional. I was very impressed with that. Because you hear a lot about young people, especially a band of kids like that. They could become quite obnoxious, and they didn't. They were very, very respectful, and they were respectful of the work, which is all that matters to me. I love to have a good time and horse around, but when it comes time to do the work, I really want to do the work and make it as good as it can be. And I appreciated that they had that.
The world changed around them more than them changed.
Exactly.
And there's somebody, I spoke to one of the directors, Michael Lembeck, who said that the fact that they had each other to sort of deal with that.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't happening to just one of them.
Mm-hmm.
They all had sort of their moments in the sun.
Right.
This one pops up, and now this one's popping up.
Yeah, I think they kept each other sane.
Yeah.
I think Teddy and I did that too. We kept each other sane because when you first come on the scene, the amazing glare of the spotlight, it's just blinding. You're on the cover of every magazine, you're nominated for everything, and you're all of a sudden this other person that you don't even know. I mean, the perception of you as this gigantic figure is really unreal. And you do need a partner, to go through it with you. And something has to ground you. And that co-star or several co-stars really does help.
Yeah. Well, you also sort of came from a family in which, you sort of had some experience, I guess, seeing what that might be like.
I had experience with it, the light being on my father. I didn't quite know what it was going to be like to have it on me. The great benefit, I think, of working in your parents' business is that you know what it takes to do it. And the thing I knew was that it took a lot of hard work and that it takes a lot of respect for the work. I certainly learned that at home, and respect for the audience, and that you have to tell a story. You can't just do a joke to get a laugh. My father used to always say, as we were kids and he was talking about his own act, he would say, you know, the audience will follow you anywhere as long as you don't lie to them. Just don't stop for a laugh and get off track. Always be going down the path of truth to the end of a story. And that was such great advice, and it really helped me in building the stories for that girl. And I would always look at it and say, you know, are we staying on track? We're not going to take them down some yellow brick road just to get a scream here. And if you do that, you know, they'll be loyal to you, especially if you have a character that's real, you know.
I hated when that girl went off the air.
Thank you.
Just a little bit more. You did a couple other parts on, hilarious, on Ally McBeal.
Yeah, that was fun. Whose mother did I play on that?
Jimmy.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Oh, I love that actress, Jamie Gertz. She's wonderful. And Callista was terrific to me. You know, we had a lot of fun. Well, you know, a lot of those young women, Sarah Jessica, Jennifer, Callista, you know, that girl was a role model for them. They grew up wanting to be her and wanting to have a part like that. So for me, it was great because going on those shows, I heard a lot about, you know, their girlhood and wanting to be a that girl character. And they were terrific to me.
And certainly Friends had a tradition of bringing on some fabulous people to play the parents.
Yes.
To those six. I mean, you know, great tradition. I mean,
It was.
And Terry Garr. And,
Uh-huh.
Kathleen Turner as the father.
Yeah, no, it was. It was a lot of great stars on that show. I think Michael Douglas was on that show too, playing somebody's father. I forgot who.
Amazing guest star.
Yeah. Well, it was well written. You know, actors will go wherever the good writing is. You know, just let me see it. If it's on the page, it'll be on the stage, and that's what you look for.
Let's talk about this place, St. Jude's, which I know was a real sort of mission and a promise for your dad.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. That's amazing to me.
Well,
I walked in there, I was like, oh my God, it's
Yeah.
not one building.
I know.
This thing, it's this huge
Yeah.
campus.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
It's amazing to me that my father was able to dream up St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And it is significant. I mean, it is a gigantic campus of buildings, of laboratories and patient care. And his dream was that there would be research and treatment under one roof, and that the work would go from the laboratory bench to the clinic, and that the children there would be getting the benefit of the very latest research. So that's really what's made the place so unique, and why it really feeds the nation with its knowledge. My dad was so smart, you know, to say, let's have both of these things under one roof. And so many of the scientists tell me that in their earlier years, they did research that they didn't know what ever happened to it. And one of the great, really, tragedies of scientific research is that it takes so long to get to a patient. You know, you can be doing great research, but by the time it gets down to the patient, you know, the patient's long gone. At St. Jude, that's happening daily. So that's why I think it's made such a mark, and because it's impacting the lives of kids in every community in the country.
I know the story's been told a million times about how your dad started it, but once more with me.
Okay. Well, my father was a struggling comedian. He was working on the radio, and he was working in nightclubs. My dad said he would literally make $12 a week. I can't, you know, it's hard for me to believe that, but I saw letters and things through the years, and it was true. In those days, he was making zero amount of money and really struggling. And I was about to be born. My mother and I were in the hospital. I was about to be born, and it was going to take $50 to get me out of the hospital. My dad always said that my sister cost $500, my brother cost $5,000. I was definitely the bargain baby at $50. So he didn't have it. He literally had $10 in his pocket. And he went to church that Sunday, and the sermon was about St. Jude, patron of the hopeless causes. And he thought to himself, if anybody's a hopeless cause, it's me. I kept to get my family out of the hospital. It's going to cost me $50, and I've got $10 in my pocket. So he took $7 of the 10 that he had in his pocket, and he put it in a little envelope for the basket. And he wrote on it, Dear St. Jude, please give me a sign that I'm going in the right direction. He didn't even ask for money. He just wanted a sign. And the next day was a Monday, and he got a phone call to play a singing toothbrush in a radio commercial. and the pay was $75. And that was his first sign, and those signs kept coming. And in fact, the reason St. Jude is in Memphis, it was originally going to be in St. Louis or Boston, where the great medical centers are. And my father read in the paper about a black boy, 8 years old, who got hit on his bicycle by a car, and it was in Mississippi in the 50s. And because no emergency room would take him in the area, he died. And my father carried that clipping around with him. It really meant something to him. And he made the decision finally that his hospital would be in the South. And then, through all kinds of other reasons, it got to come to Memphis. But those signs came to him, and he made his decisions really based on these impacts that it was having on him. And it's great that it's in the South. I mean, it's a real hub of the country, and also it really ensures that children of all religions and all races get a fair crack. And kids come from every corner of the globe, not just from this country.
What's your involvement and your family's involvement in St. Jude's?
Well, since my father's death, I'm the National Outreach Director, which means that I bring in a lot of the corporate partners. And it's very exciting to do. You know, Williams-Sonoma and J.C. Penney and Saks and 7-Eleven and all these different organizations. I visit and I bring them here to the hospital and show them who we are and why what we're doing is impacting every single community. Because these are great brands that are in every community, and we want those great brands to be a part of our great brand. And because we're doing the same thing. They're in every community, we're in every community, and we're striving for the quality of life of these children and their families.
Just amazing. That's fantastic. What are you working on in terms of acting and producing? Are you doing anything?
Yes, I'm going to do a play in September, an Elaine May play. We're going to try it out in San Francisco. And I'm working on a movie at Paramount called The Assistants that I'm producing. And I have an Elaine May movie that I'm working on. So I have a lot of stuff.
You've had a great life, especially, it's funny because it's because of the shows that you've done, and certainly because of the way you met your husband, people feel like they've really been part of your life. And certainly, your life has been public, but not in the way that people's lives are public now, where paparazzi are following them down the street and doing car chases
Right.
on the front of. But in a way, your marriage sort of became this public event because of the way you guys met each other and.
Well, it's funny. I do feel that I grew up in front of everybody. There I was doing That Girl when I was just a kid, really. And then I met Phil on his show, and everybody knew my father already. So it's like, I seem to be pretty much, an open book. And because my husband was also somebody that everybody knows. It's true. It's a blessing in many ways because I feel comfortable everywhere. I mean, everywhere I go, I feel like I'm home. It's kind of like the country's a big college campus. And it's nice. People have warm feelings for me and my family because of our work, my father's, my brother's, my husband's, and mine. And I think because of St. Jude as well. There's a feeling that they know us and they know who we are, and we've been in their homes for a long time, and so we're very blessed by that, I think.
Have we missed anything?
I don't know. I'm not keeping track.
This is fun.
Good.
You want to talk about your books?
Sure. Well, this year I launched my 5th book. First I did Free to Be You and Me and Free to Be a Family, and then I did Thanks and Giving All Year Long, part of the Thanks and Giving campaign that I do for St. Jude, and all the money went to St. Jude. And then in 2002, I did The Right Words at the Right Time, where I interviewed 106 of the most famous people in America. And the reaction to that was amazing. I mean, people started writing me their right words. I mean, I couldn't even go to the bathroom in a restaurant where somebody would come in and say to me, I have right words. So I thought, I'm going to do another book about everyday people, asking them what the right words at the right time were in their life. My right words were the run your own race, and I used that as the forward to the book. And it really inspired other people that everybody had a time in their life when they were at a crossroads and somebody said just the right thing to them. So my 5th book was The Right Words at the Right Time, Your Turn, for everybody else. It's been a lot of fun to do those books. I'm very curious about people, and it's fun to be able to talk to all these people that I would never have met. I mean, prisoners and Navy and sailors and doctors and lawyers and judges and auto mechanics and waiters and just all kinds of people that from 16 to 80 years old are in the book. So it was a very exciting adventure.
Pretty inspirational.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of food to try to gain weight, actually.
You want me to move back? Oh, I'm in the way. Excuse me.
Yes?
Oh, I'm upstaging you. Don't you just love these smooth shows?
That's how you got out of Dayton, huh?
I'm sorry that we are out of time. You are really fascinating. And
No, but you are wonderful. I said it when we were off there, and I want to say you are loving and generous, and you like women, and it's a pleasure. And whoever is the woman in your life is very lucky.
Well, thank you very much.
Husband supportive of everything?
Oh, Phil's very proud of me. I mean, I'm proud of him too. He's such a wonderful man, and he's really, had his say and stood up for the things that he believed in. And I'm very proud of him for being so outspoken about what he believes in. And he's fearless. He'll, whatever it is, he just comes right out and says it. He's guileless.
I miss him on TV.
I miss him too. Everybody does. I mean, it's terrible that he's not on television. He's got so much to say. I wish he wanted to, but he doesn't seem to want to.
Kind of grueling.
Yeah. He was on, 31 years straight.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. He did 7,000 hours. That's a lot of hours. Straight, It's a lot of hours. So, I think he feels entitled to play golf and be on his boat. It's very much like Johnny Carson. He just said, that's it, Yeah.
Well, maybe you can pull him on something.
Yeah,
at some point.
maybe. Well, he goes on television shows to say his piece, but I just don't think he wants to do it every day.
That can be grueling.
Yeah.
But
Well, thank you.
so much.
Thanks, David.
So much
And
fun.
thanks for coming down here. That's great.
Well, thank you. This was great. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
These days you can catch Marlo Thomas online in Mondays with Marlo. That's it for now. I'm David Levin. You can follow Pop Goes the Culture on Twitter at PopGoCulture, Facebook, or email me at popgoestheculturetv@gmail.com. And please don't forget to subscribe. I'm here with a new episode every Monday. If you like it, share it with your friends. If you don't, keep it to yourself. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Ouch! Ooh.